So when I agreed to the so-called compressed work schedule, which is 4 days a week, longer hours each day, there were a few things I didn't really consider, and it doesn't matter, but a lot of things are just not open. This place is usually an exception, but even they close on Monday. Today's Sunday. But there's basically no place useful to me that's open at this hour. It's about 5:30. I laugh about it because 5:30 is when this is when I used to be coming home during my bar days. And 5:30 might even be early in those days. I remember coming home at like 10 a.m. and I'd talk to people who said they would commonly, they were known to get home by, 1 p.m. It's actually quite a bit livelier out here today than I expected. Maybe it was just a fluke, but yesterday it was like a ghost town. You talk about, getting home at this hour, or the fabled after-hours bars that used to be somewhat common around here. Maybe they still are, I don't know. But it was like something of an honor to be admitted into that world. And I did think it was kind of cool for about 10 minutes, but I don't even know how many times I frequented or sat at the bar past closing time. In the past, I would never walk this far to the subway, but it just makes sense. I don't mind walking, and it saves me a probably 10-minute connection. And by the way, the so-called 55-gallon sealed bin, I'm not seeing a lot of sealed bins. But El Galito Grocery. I thought this place was 24 hours, but it's not. And they've been spelling sandwiches wrong for as long as I can remember. Sandwich. This place recently changed its name. Taco Maria Bonita. I don't remember what it used to be now. I know a long time ago, well, not that long ago. American long ago, it was called Locale. but they recently changed up their name and everything. I think it was called the Barrio or something like that. Now up ahead is the St. James Deli, and this place was legend in my all-night barfly days. It was the tacos. Everybody would get really hungry at like 2 in the morning, and the kitchen at the bar was closed. So we'd send a troop over to this place to get their famous tacos, soft shell. And everything was great until one day every single person that ate one of those things got food poisoning. There's always activity here at this hour. And then here's this light show, which is strange. You just hope it doesn't bother anybody or cause seizures. And I'm also not on board with this flower stand. There doesn't seem to be anybody here. If there is, he's hiding in that little back room. And if you see that little freeze, or whatever you want to call it, the tiger, or lion rather, that's the only vestige left of the fact that when they closed Tupelo, the after-hours bar, or one of them, they closed Tupelo and turned this into a grocery store. That lion head is the only vestige left of the fact that it was originally going to be a Food Lion, but it ended up being, at first, a Bravo, I think. Citrico used to be a cafe bar, and it was not a gay bar, but the only thing that ever happened to me when I'd walk through the door was the gay guys would hit on me. But I don't know what Citrico is anymore, if it's the same owners or anything. And here's the mighty Kaufman Astoria Studios. This is a relatively new structure. The birds are chirping. You know, the activity that always seems to be going on at the St. James reminds me that there used to be a bar on Broadway called the Spinning Wheel, which is such a perfect name for a dead-end dive bar where people just go to die. Spin the wheel of your life away. But that place would open at 8 a.m. And there's always a line of people waiting to get in. And on the surface, you think, oh, what a bunch of fucking drunks. Lined up to get lit at 8 in the morning. Hey, did that guy just run a red light? I believe he did. Tail lights look like a Star Wars flying machine. Anyway, people would line up to, at 8 a.m. But it wasn't like, if these were like all-day drunks, they would drink at home. They lined up at 8 because they worked the night shift. And our 8 a.m. was their 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or whatever. And I remember I knew a girl, I tried to explain this to her, and she just could not accept people drinking at 8 in the morning. It was under no context was it appropriate to her. And I did try to go along with that sentiment up to a point, but because it does seem odd on the 9 to 5 parade. But really, these are just that's the night shift. They need a place to go. Somebody's got to open at 8 a.m. for them. I don't know what the hell they're doing here, but it's been going on for like a year. There's this like towering combine, wherever it is. They're supposed to be building elevators here for the subway, but I don't think this has anything to do with that. And this place was called Twist and Smashed. And it lasted a good 10 years. You could play bocce ball there. Alright, here I am.